Hello everyone, welcome back to another video on the Cordy channel. Today is episode 6 of the Christmas special, and today I'm going to be doing sort of a tips and tricks video. Or, not really a tips and tricks video, but more of a things I do in Bed Wars to help myself win. So let's get straight into it. The first thing I do in a Bed Wars game, well, I'm going to start from the start of the game to the end of the game. I would only defend my bed with wool, and depending on the map, I would either buy, sometimes if I'm feeling quick and, pumped, it's like my 10th game of the day, I'll normally only buy maybe, half a stack of wool, or 48 wool, and make sure I'm on Glacier, because Glacier is my favorite map. That's pretty much the only map I play, if I'm playing alone. And then I'll just take the TNT, I'll defend the bed with just one layer of wool, and then I'll take the TNT and the wool, bridge most of the way to the other person's base, and TNT jump. Now, one thing that I got all, wrong, or a lot of the time, was jumping too early. I always jumped thinking it would blast me up, but I have to jump later. Now, I'm pretty sure a lot of people already knew that, but I did, so just jump pretty late. And make sure you jump up, don't just run, because then you're not going to get any boost. And then I would get their bed, and if I'm still on sort of a rampage of TNT jumping, I'll normally go get more TNT and buy only a half stack of wool, and then I'll bridge to the next base, go on, and TNT jump, get the next bed. And, alright, let's talk team upgrades. For team upgrades, I'll normally get, I think the obvious here is sharp, but sometimes when I'm feeling rushed, I'll get reinforced armor and a trap if I don't have all 4 diamonds. So, that's what I get first, and then I just grind reinforced armor. I don't get forge, manic miner, dragon buff, I think there's one more in there, heal. Actually, I would get heal pool sometimes, but there's one other thing you're gonna want to get, and that's a trap. A lot of most of the time. Every time your trap goes off, buy another one immediately. Now, traps. I would go for miner fatigue because it's just the most obvious. And sometimes I would go with it's a trap because the it's a trap kind of also gives you miner fatigue. But the problem with doing that is that they'll know more. It's more obvious to them that there's a trap to the enemy, that there's a trap. So I would pick miner fatigue because they don't really realize it until they're in your bed. And then they can't really get out because your whole team's there, or yourself, and you can just kill them. Now, let's talk about items. So, items, there's a bunch of useless items in the game that you definitely want to avoid. Well, first of all, there's stuff like sponges. Water buckets are okay, but stuff like obsidian, depends on the circumstances, but most of the time you're not going to want to get obsidian, because there's no point, because, a lot of people don't, it's expensive, and it's a good item, but, there's no point in getting it, because everyone's bed is so easy to get, that the game's going to end in a minute or two, alright? Let's talk about swords and setups. So my setup in a game is pickaxe, axe. Well, I'm gonna go from 1 to 9. Sword, pickaxe, axe, wool, shears, and then the rest is just normal other items like utilities like TNT, fireball, bow, arrows, that type of thing, golden apples. And they're normally organized in least to greatest. No, greatest to least valuable or needed. Now, another setup that I do when everyone's bed's gone and it's just showdown is sword, shears, wool, a bow. A bow would go in the second slot actually. So sword, bow, shears, wool, and any other items. Now, I always put my wool in my 4th slot. That is just my preference, but I don't have a hotkey for it. I don't know why. I just don't, because I never use hotkeys. I don't have any hotkeys. Let's take a look. I don't have any hotkeys. But, besides that, any setup is normal. Some YouTubers like inverted hotbars, and normally hotkeys, I'm not a big fan of them. Unless you actually, like, start using them the second you play, you're gonna not be, there are people who get used to them, but after a while, I just stop using them if I can't get used to them very easily. I would only use a hotkey if I kept pressing that button over and over again, back to back, every game. But, other than that, nah, I don't really have any other setups. Now, let's talk map selection and how to act in them. So, a map like, what used to be Pernicious, Pernicious is gone. At least I think it is. So, maps like Pernicious, Lighthouse, I think, any fast iron map like Zarzal, any fast iron map or rush map, you're gonna want to get just get wool and go, because on Lighthouse, no one really does this because a lot of tryhards go to Lighthouse, and they don't ever really, no one has time to do this, but I feel like you could buy Endstone on Lighthouse, and without, any problems, because the Iron Gen is decently fast. But, anyways, so maps like Zarzal have fast iron but aren't, the biggest rush, you're gonna want to buy tools, because people are bound to have obsidian, no, not obsidian, endstone, wood, clay, just the blocks that you can't mine with your fist that easily. Okay, my next discussion is ladders. Ladders, it's really your preference. Ladders are fun to use when you can use them really well, but normally I don't use ladders unless I'm playing in a floors game and I need to clutch. Speaking of clutching, water buckets. Water buckets, I don't use them for clutching. I normally just use ladders, because water buckets, you can't pick them up again. Once there's water, unless you get rid of it with a block, but you can never get it back, so I think it's kind of a waste, just for some cool shot. Unless it's actually a cool shot that's going to get you 1 million subs on YouTube, then you do it. But, anyways. Okay, now I'm going to talk about clients. Now, I don't know a lot about clients, but certain clients, which is obvious at this point, can get you banned. Like hack clients. I don't really know many hack clients, but there's a bunch out there. And they're so easy to get, but Hypixel's Watchdog is very secure. Actually, I'm not sure if it's that secure when people are in-game, but when you make it so obvious that you're hacking, then you're gonna get banned within 5 minutes. But some clients, like the one I'm using, Bad Lion, is nice. It has a lot of mods, but it's not the best PvP client. Lunar's a good one, PvP Lounge. I haven't tested PvP Lounge yet, but I've tested Lunar. The reason why I don't use Lunar is because I don't feel like there's as many mods on Lunar, and I don't really care about my PvP, because I'm where I am. I think my PvP is not that bad, except for my aim. My aim's not the best, but I'll work on that. I just think I'm in a good position overall, so I'm going to stick to what I have. Alright, now the final thing we're going to talk about in this video, and that is cosmetics. And, just your whole other, not the gameplay itself, but, your background. So, cosmetics are good, but some cosmetics are a little, some cosmetics are just funny, but, I feel like cosmetics are a little too I don't know, they make me feel just different. When you have cosmetics, you look like someone who's desperate because you buy cosmetics. Now, that's in-game, or with coins, but that also brings me to another part of cosmetics. Client cosmetics. I know there's some YouTubers out there, a lot of YouTubers, that have capes, and you would buy them to support them, which I appreciate. Well, I respect. But when you just buy random cosmetics, it makes you look like I said, it makes you look like you're desperate. If you don't have any cloaks, then you just don't stick out like a sore thumb, and you don't look like a sweat, unless you actually have a sweaty name. But cosmetics are fun to use, and I feel like some cosmetics are unfair in terms of obtaining them, but like the reason why I think that is because they're not even that good. Like some of them here. Oh, I haven't bought this one. Oh, I'm gonna buy this. All right, there we go. Oh, geez, that looks good. All right. Anyways, I think that's all I'm going to talk about in this video, because I don't really have anything else to talk about other than play Bed Wars. It's a fun game. If you learn how to PvP or bridge well, then you'll be a great player. I'll probably make a video about, like, bridging, but, like, I'm not the best bridger either, so just forget I said that. Alright, goodbye, everyone. Peace.